don't know a whole lot about Hitchcock. I finished North by Northwest, and I'll have to watch it again. It's a masterpiece. The ending is what I like the most about it, though. And that he got final cut on that. The Hollywood studios didn't. I don't think they would have approved of that kind of ending. Very abrupt. Most movies aren't going to end that abrupt. Just boom, all of a sudden credits. My goodness. Hitchcock was mad. He was mad at the love affair. So there's a shot of a train going in a tunnel. We all know what that means. Now, before the shot of the train going through the tunnel, James Mason's goons, because he plays a bad character called Kaplan. And Kaplan is on the top of Mount Rushmore at this moment. And Cary Grant's character, Thornhill, Roger Thornhill, is running from Kaplan's authority, or from his evil, kind of rule over him. Kaplan is trying to capture him and the woman, and Roger Thornhill's having kind of a love affair. Now he mentions his marriage. I think maybe his second marriage, while they're kind of hanging off of Mount Rushmore, and Hitchcock is clearly talking about the love affair and how angry, I guess, it made him for some reason. She's hanging on by her glove, hanging on to his hand, to Cary Grant's hand. And Cary Grant, is playing Roger Thornhill, who's escaping and and one of the goons has already fallen off. It looked like it was, from what I'm thinking, I'll have to look at it, but I almost met him. It looked like it's Martin Landau playing one of the goons, a young version of Martin Landau, and I'm pretty sure it is. I'm going to look it up. Martin Landau looks like he falls off, and then there's moments where he's trying to pull her up, and it's never concluded. There's no conclusion. It's a quick ending. And Hitchcock was an absolute genius, and I love that ending because he was throwing away Hollywood classicism there on that ending. He was choosing almost like it was a big-time art house film. Surreality, almost, very surreal. And it showed Hitchcock's power in Hollywood to be able to do that, because everyone was like, what in the world? But I love the ending because it's pure art. And it's Hitchcock stabbing at the Hollywood studios too, saying, I'll end it abruptly just like that. I'll end the film right here. That's what I'll do. And it was just an abrupt thing. I like it. I like it. I think it's great. Any film that takes a risk like that and just cuts out. None of the filmmakers, not even Quentin Tarantino, I doubt even Scorsese, none of them would be that abrupt. The only one that I think that would be that abrupt in an ending, and he doesn't even do it, would be Lynch. Lynch, the last thing Lynch has done, the big last thing, film is What Did Jack Do? And it doesn't have that much of an abrupt ending. None of his stuff does. He concludes. Scorsese will conclude. They'll have a resolution or a denouement. I do have a few scripts, not all of them, but I do have a few that do have the abrupt ending. I've never seen it before. Now, I have plays that have an abrupt ending, and I got in trouble when I was writing my first novel, which I never finished, and it was when I was in high school, to have a complete abrupt ending, where it just ends completely, no conclusion. It just cuts off. And I had gotten in a fight with my creative writing teacher, trying to explain it to him, that it was the first part of a novel. And he said, no, you must have a conclusion. You must have a denouement. You must answer all the questions. There's also another thing is, the last thing about North by Northwest Hitchcock, is it has a cliffhanger ending. Literally. It literally is a cliffhanger ending. Love it. Love it. I would applaud it. But it doesn't happen very often. Filmmakers are not that brave. One last thing about Hitchcock's ending in North by Northwest is that it doesn't have a rhythmic conclusion. There's no rhythmic conclusion. Like, the shot is not held on for very long when he's holding on to the love interest, when Cary Grant or Roger Thornhill is hanging on to his love. It does flash back for a moment to get the idea of purgatory, and they're on this train, or maybe like a suspense kind of heaven, and he's trying to pull her back into his life. And this is a love interest that he has found on his escape from the one and only Kaplan. And so it doesn't have a rhythmic conclusion. There's not a sustained shot on them to where you're like, wait a minute, is this going to end? It literally just goes bam and ends, and then credits. I was like, Hitchcock was mad. I could tell he's like, end it here. But sir, can't we hold the shot for just another 10 seconds? No, immediate ending. I see it ending right now. Forget the MacGuffin. End it. The MacGuffin falls off. The supposed MacGuffin, this weird statue-looking thing, falls and breaks. Shows that for a moment. There's probably stories written about Hitchcock. I want to read some bios to really understand it. Those that have studied his life and his biography and know about him would understand this abrupt ending by North. I'm sorry, this abrupt ending in North by Northwest. All right. Well, we didn't get to Little House on the Prairie, but we did watch Leave It to Beaver, and I did get to watch North by Northwest, but we didn't get to watch the Masterpiece Theater thing about animals and family or something like that. But it was good. It was good. North by Northwest was my favorite. That's one of those over there. And we got it all from the library. But I highly recommend North by Northwest if you're a cinematic guru or you like thrillers or suspense things. It's one of those masterpieces that have been analyzed. I call it more of like a suspense drama almost, but there's definitely a thriller aspect to it, and that was one of those right over there. One of the two there. I don't think that she watched Little House on the Prairie. Alright. Got all that. Actually, to be honest, this lady right here, where is she? Huh. There she is. She's the president of SAG, Screen Actors Guild, where she used to be. It's actually pretty good stuff. It's season 6. Laura Ingalls. I think her name is Gilbert. I was looking for her name down here. Melissa Gilbert, I think. Anyway, we didn't watch any of that. She did watch this, so she really liked that. And then I watched this one. Really good thriller. We didn't get a chance to watch this, but it's a Masterpiece Theater. It's called My Family and Other Animals. But it might be good. I don't know. About to turn that one in. And turn everything else in right here. They got these little, so you have two different sections. You've got your books and the media. All right. So I know Biden was supposed to do what's called police reform. He was supposed to press down on it. I think we should have an active internal affairs department. So they're active. So they're out there and they monitor stops. They have like maybe lawyers that can represent people, even traffic stuff. And it would cost the government a little bit of money, but it would end things like what happened with George Floyd and the recent killing that involved the 5 officers and the one white officer. I think it was like a total of 7 officers were involved in a special unit. So this would be only an internal affairs department that's active, that's outside of the department, that pretty much hunts down criminal law enforcement. So it could be a citizen-run department to a certain degree, but it would increase the stopping of bad law enforcement. So they would have the authority to basically arrest a cop, even during an arrest. And this has happened. Cops have arrested other cops for different stuff. Cops that have been on drugs, cops that have been drinking and driving issues with cops, you know, cops having problems. And they would monitor all the departments. Now, FBI does a little bit of it. I don't think ATF does, but FBI does. And I think there's another group that does a little bit of monitoring, but it's usually from the outside. This would be its own department, and their sole purpose would be to basically supervise and catch cops making mistakes out of protocol, and it would monitor society, and it would help other people. It'd also be racially driven, multicultural. Okay, so race would be a part of it. It would be recognized within the training that there is racism. We don't need to enforce multiculturalism, but we need to celebrate multiculturalism. And I know it sounds crazy, but this would end the bullies. This would be a group of guys. Now, I knew a guy that was part of Sharp. Okay, this was Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. He's a pretty brave guy. He wasn't that big of a dude, but he'd fight any of them. He'd fight any of the skinheads. It was kind of like they were on bicycles, but they weren't really on bicycles. He started off having his own bicycle club, and then as he got older, he started Sharp, which is Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. And they usually stayed on the outside, but if they knew stuff was going wrong, they'd come to their friends' help, and they drove the white van too. Anyway, I think that should be part of police reform. To find out, like, really what's going on with this stop. And there are cop watchers, but they have I haven't seen them on YouTube that much. This is like an intensive special unit, internal affairs, only for the sake of monitoring law enforcement. I think we should get it. But Biden, where is Biden's promise, on police reform? I mean, it's my idea. All right, so we're going to check it. And here it is, the Stranger Things pizza right here. What flavor is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's kind of watery at the top. Okay.
Fine. I gotta get ready.
Surfer Boy. It's supreme. It's sausage, pepperoni, green peppers, red onion, mushrooms, and black olives. Right there. All right. Welcome back to the Please Subscribe show. We just ate our Stranger Things pizza, supreme. What'd you think about it, sweetie?
It was delicious.
We thought it was good. We thought it tastes like mall pizza. It works.
Did you say malt or mall?
Malt or something like that. Well, one of the two. I'm gonna put my UT hat off. Sorry, on or off. There goes Kitty. No, Kitty, don't go into the trap. No, not there, Kitty. Nope. You went into it. This is what Kitty does. Goes underneath this thing, and he can just sit there by the window. Why, Kitty? Why? Explain to them. Talk to them. Why? Why do you go by these weird things? And in this little area right here, why? Explain. Talk to them. Use your telepathy. Here, Kitty. Now, I have to coach him out. This is, getting kind of hippie here. Kitty. He's making decisions. Explain to them why you like to wrestle that remote control. All right, Kitty. Here we go. Good kitty. Yeah. Okay. I quit. Okay, there we go. There. Just joking. Okay. All right. I'm checking everything. All right. Stand back this way. Sit. Okay. Yeah, this one's good. No, don't go in there. All right. We're good. All right. Got that. All right, this one's good. And Linda will be dropping the food by the point of sale system, and I'll be dropping the food. And this is Linda's finishing up her Stranger Things pizza.
Correct, yes.
It's kind of hot, and I'll be dropping the food at your doorstep. It's quite the quest and adventure. Come along with us. We think it would be
Love
great.
you, Kitty, gotta go. Love you, Kitty. We gotta go.
And why not? There's Kitty guarding the castle. 170513. We're looking at February 24th, or 24th, sorry, February 24th, 2023. Respect to David Lynch on the cutting the TH on the, and not the THX, so we're not cutting the THX, just the TH. February 24, 2023, and we're just kind of floating here down this little, what do you call it? Descend? I guess we can call it descend. There's probably like 40 different things that you can call it. This little bend in the road that goes downward, bends downward, but you know what I mean.